Every time I tell myself that follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
With anime and our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by AniMa W3 Studios. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Happy Friday to everyone out there. We've got about 2 weeks left towards Survivor Series and SmackDown tonight. It was a good show. It was all right. We had some good matches going on. Promo segments were they were promo segments, obviously, so they were giving promos and all that. So we'll break all that stuff down to yeah, it's as you can tell, it's kind of been a long week for some of us. it's it's been a thing. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna leave off there. So I'm just grateful to have some of you returning listeners, you returning viewers checking us out. Just I'm just very happy that you guys are here to see the show continue onwards. But of course, if you're new around these parts, hey, who are we exactly besides calling ourselves the Weebs of the Ring? Well, introductions need to be made. It's first and foremost, I am your reigning, defending, undisputed, universal 24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95, universal heavyweight champion of the world. Watkins here. I'm going to be your guide through the smack diggity down tonight. And of course, there are two gentlemen here to help me with this journey that we're about to go on. First and foremost, we have the self proclaimed visionary. He thinks he's a revolutionary, but hey, that revolution only comes if you're a number one stan of the Bill Goldberg of 152 plus wins in his WCW time. The WWE record, we don't talk about that because there's a little bit more than wins there. But Vash, how you doing tonight?
I'd rather he called me like the king of the pirates that has like a 1.5, billion berry bounty. I'd rather have that. But hey, what can you do? Is your boy the Latino your Rico Suave, your revolutionary, your visionary, Legend Vash. It's great to be here on a Friday night SmackDown, on the Diggly downtown, down under. It's good to be here. I'm just here for the vibes. I'm here for the show. I'm just here for the good time. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was a good SmackDown. Good 2 hours. Remember, Chad? 2 hours. 2 hours. Two. Two. Right, Watkins? Okay, that's a big sigh for the
It needs to
two.
stay as two. If it goes any longer, just go to 2.5. No more, no
Well,
less
technically,
than 2.5.
if you take the subtraction of the ads and commercials
No,
on the networks, we get like two
no,
hours and 15 minutes, so like 2 hours and
no,
18,
no,
maybe. Yeah, Chad, we have a
no.
3 hour
Because you,
show coming up on January 2nd of 2026, Chad. So who's excited about that? I know Watkins is. He's thrilled to sit down from 8 o'clock to 11 p.m. and start the podcast at 11:15 p.m. EST. He's so thorough. You can see the glare, the excitement in his eyes. He's thrilled just to see Charlotte Flair having a 25-minute segment just all about her being a queen, right?
I'll be more thrilled if the writing's better, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes when we get to those 3 hour SmackDowns. But hey, we're not here for 3 hour SmackDowns. We still got our lovely 2 hours, our great 2 hours of the show. And to help us kind of process the 2 hours of SmackDown we have every single Friday night, we of course have the genius of the mat himself here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, and I thought this SmackDown was okay. I mean, I know you guys enjoyed it, which is perfectly fine, but I really wasn't feeling the show tonight outside of like a few things because I don't know what it is lately, but it feels like sometimes at these SmackDowns, there's like a few things in there that's actually interesting to talk about. And then there's times where it's like, okay, I'm just waiting for the next segment or the next match so we can progress throughout the story. Because one of my biggest gripes when it comes to these shows is I kind of get tired of like seeing the same thing over and over again, especially when it comes to Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa, which we'll obviously talk about later. I'm just not really feeling anything beyond that. And I know me and you talked about it last Friday
Mhm.
when it came to whatever's going on with the Wyatt Six. So it's like, I mean, it's just like a never ending story with that. And I just don't want to take any time to really reiterate what I said once we get there. But I mean, I don't know. It's just really weird because like 2 years ago when we were building up to the whole CM Punk thing and everything, when he came back at Survivor
Mhm.
Series, things felt really good at that time. But now, like these war games, like setup and stuff like that, like it's starting to feel, which I can understand the criticism online. It's starting to feel like how
Mhm.
consistent those Hell in a Cell matches are now.
Yeah.
Well, back then, I should say.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people had criticisms last year of War Games, how even the structure of the match just kind of felt very samey. Men's or the women's match, they both kind of felt just the same. Itself was just kind of weird on its own, right? But yeah, we'll talk about SmackDown. We'll talk about some of the good things, the bad things, the mediocre at best things, and what they probably could be doing better here and there. So, yeah, chat, just make sure, if you're watching this video, make sure to hit that like button because every like that we get on this video is a treat for our lovely pets. And hey, we love to give our pets treats because they've all been good pups, whether they're good boys or good girls. They've all been good pups or cats or birds or snails if you have a snail pet. Like, yeah, make sure you give your snail a pet tonight before you give them a nice good old treat. But hey, the only way to give them a treat is to hit that like button and of course hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any time we go live, whether it's a Raw coverage, SmackDown coverage, the Grappling with the Week episodes that we do on a semi-regular basis. We've kind of hit a little every other week schedule with it, but hey, that's fine. That's neither here nor there. And of course, whenever PLEs drop, be sure to check out our coverage there. And also, don't forget about the audio only feed because we also love and enjoy you audio only listeners out there. So check out those feeds and download the episodes and join in on the conversation, whether it's on here or social media. But enough of the fun little plugs, enough of the dancing around the subject. Let's get right into the action. We're going to start with our headline story tonight. Basically, we're going to
This
be
is not
talking
good.
about what was that? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Oh,
What?
sorry,
You
sorry.
want to
I
plug
just
something too? You want to
no.
plug
I just
Mr. Plug? Mr. Plug it in? Plug
all
it
I
in?
said was, and he said he's not good at plugs because I felt like he aced that plug segment for the intro to the
Uh,
show. I felt like he aced that. Oh, I'm just saying that he aced that, Chad. That's all the mumbling.
well, much like a donut, we're gonna devour this headline segment here in just a sec. No, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. That was a good transition. Wait. Okay, never mind. Sorry. We're gonna get right into it. Okay, we got the last time is now tournament going on. It's continuing on. We still got the first round. We still got more first rounds too for next week, but I'm assuming we're gonna get the finals at Survivor Series. Just by the way they're structuring everything, which is fine. I appreciate that at least. But we got to continue our first round matches tonight. We had two of them tonight. We had Jey Uso taking on The Miz and LA Knight taking on a mystery opponent who happened to be, ladies and gentlemen, drumroll please, say his name and he will not appear, Zack Ryder. Not Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. So we're about to get into this, and I'm just gonna lay this groundwork right here, right now. Most of what we might say tonight has nothing to do with match quality unless the match absolutely sucked, which we will say. Most of it has to do with like the booking and the storyline aspects of a lot of this. So,
Yeah.
that being said, LA Knight versus Zack Ryder, good match, very solid match between the two guys, especially the ending segments of it. I thought it was really good. It was really good to see Matt Cardona in a WWE, like an actual main roster WWE ring. That was just really good. And him and LA Knight, they they're kind of very similar in the way that they in like their combat styles. Like I want to call them brawlers, really. Even though they are people that have like a foundation, so like the whole suplexes and all that stuff. But like they basically are brawlers to me and all that. But I think the main point here, besides LA Knight winning, which he should have, is the fact that Matt Cardona came out as Zack Ryder, and he's gone on record a few times, and I made sure I did check online too to make sure I could see what was being said about this. And on one hand, there have been times like, and the main point here is this, like, Matt Cardona had said and gone on record saying that Zack Ryder's basically dead. Like, that character is dead. And how dead is he? He's cadaverific. That's how. But there was also apparently some people saying, hey, he has stated that he does bring the Zack Ryder gear with him, which okay. I think my biggest thing with this, besides the whole thing of like the character being unalived and all that, is the fact that, like, if you're gonna do the Zack Ryder thing, where was the bandana? Where was the sunglasses for the entrance? Like, the presentation for Zack Ryder wasn't there. This was Matt Cardona cosplaying or pretending that he was Zack Ryder. At least to me. But again, solid match throughout. I did like the ending sequences to everything. Of course, LA Knight wins as he should. I kind of wish he would win the whole thing, but that's I feel like that's just going to be a Gunther thing. But I want to start with you, Vash, because I know you're in a different like kind of mindset when it comes to Matt Cardona slash Zack Ryder coming back to WWE compared to me and Drop. So kind of want to start with you first. How do you feel about him coming back here, the whole Zack Ryder persona, the match quality? What did you think of everything?
I was very happy to see Matt Cardona show up. I saw him from afar at New York Comic Con 2025. It was great to see him in person. To just feel that energy he is. He is like that in person, and to see him come back. But like you said, impersonating Zack Ryder, it felt very awkward because we saw him at NXT as Matt Cardona came out as a Matt Cardona sign and everything with the title card in the bottom, but somehow we come out with a Friday Night SmackDown with Zack Ryder. And I do agree, he didn't have the glasses. He did the move set a bit and everything, but he didn't have the bandana either. So it was a bit off. And why Zack Ryder? Like you said, Watkins, I've heard it in many interviews myself as well, saying that he's will bring the equipment just in case you never know. And it seems like it came where they asked, "Hey, can you come as Zack Ryder?" However, my theory was during the SmackDown thread that imagine if Zack Ryder loses, but then he could come back as Matt Cardona. However, commentary connected both of them as one person. That on NXT as Matt Cardona and him being the indie god as Zack Ryder. So that's what confused me the fuck out the most. Because how you gonna connect them, but then have them on NXT as one name, but then Zack Ryder as the other? You could have used the fun loophole as okay, cool. Zack Ryder lost. That's like the official close of the chapter. Matt Cardona on the main roster on go for the IC title against John Cena on
Mhm.
already at MSG, and then you could still have a mystery opponent Joe Hendry that same night. Still great things happening that night, but just interesting perspective of why they chose this. I want to hear Drop. How about you as well? Because I know you. Walkers, back to you. How do you feel about my opinion of what I've said so far?
The back and forth, back and forth. I mean, yeah,
It's like the
I
Uno,
get
like
it.
here's reverse.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get the 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 back and forth with like, okay, Zack Ryder lost, but Matt Cardona is still a thing and all that. So like I get that aspect. It's just for me, and I guess the way the character himself and the guy has kind of portrayed himself, it's never really been like a separate kind of thing. So like it's never been like a like a Three Faces of Foley kind of thing. But I mean, it would have been a good loophole for Zack Ryder slash Matt Cardona to use to be still part of this tournament and all that. But at least with this happening, I doubt he's gonna be there on Monday for the match with Solo because like we still have another mystery opponent going on. But like
Mm.
the other caveat too is John Cena's also teased his final match at MSG on Raw, and he has hyped it up on social media being his favorite match and all that. So I mean, I'm still kind of pushing the Joe Hendry agenda, whether it's part of the Solo match or the John Cena match. If I'm being kind of honest, I'd rather it be the John Cena match. I think that would be a lot more fun. But
Mm.
yeah, kind of going back to like the Matt Cardona stuff. I mean, yeah, like again, I saw the theory. I could see the mindset with it. It just I it's not really much of the character to be like to be basically be like that. But if he was more of a heel, maybe I could see that happening. But I don't know. I really don't know. But drop. I'm gonna bring it over to you now. What'd you think of the match itself? What'd you think of Matt Cardona coming out as Zack Ryder and like that whole little chestnut that we kind of have to break open here?
I don't like it because, like he said on social media many times, he was very
Hmm.
clear when it comes to this being the end of that character. And with him coming back to this tournament, that could have been the thing where he proves that to the fans. Like, sure, you can get a good pop out of it and everything because people know the song. But at the same time, one of the things that Cody did and Drew McIntyre did is that they went in the indie scene to rebuild themselves so they can come back as a different person. You didn't see Cody Rhodes come back at that WrestleMania as like dashing Cody Rhodes or anything, or the Scottish psychopath that Drew McIntyre used to do. They're basically like the next evolution of their character. So it's like he's pushing this character very hard. It's not like it's been around for a year, it's been around for several years now, ever since he left. So it's like you're taking all of that work that you did and you're making it very clear. And I repeat that again because he's made it pretty clear. And I've heard him repeat this statement many times in podcasts or just in general as a whole. Even during his indie shows, he makes it very clear that, he's not that person anymore. He's Matt Cardona, the indie god, the deathmatch king, all those kinds of things. So it's like, if you're doing that with that character, then you should be able to present that on WWE television. Otherwise, if that's not matching with his vision, I personally myself, if I were him, I wouldn't have walked through that door and appeared here tonight. If they weren't going to go by my wishes, because he has every right to say what he
Hmm.
wants, because that is his job at the end of the day. So if he wants to show up, he
Yeah.
can show up. If he doesn't want to show up, he doesn't have to. If he wants to just chill in the back and wait for his wife to be done whatever she's doing and then they can head home, he's allowed to do that as well. But it's like,
Mhm.
this is one of the things I was looking forward to the most. And I'm pretty sure this is a one-time thing because Cena stated, people that don't work here. And obviously he's a TNA guy. So I highly doubt he's going to be here
Yeah.
like next SmackDown building storylines and stuff like that. But like the thing that's funny, and I remember I talked to you during the chat, like in our little SmackDown thread on the Discord server. It's just very odd how you can go on an NXT show as Matt Cardona. You're not having him appear as Zack Ryder or anything. Like you see it like when he's coming out, when the wrestlers come out, you see the little nameplate on the screen and everything. It said Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
And then the preview thing that shows the matchups or like the next NXT matches that are appearing the next week, it says Matt Cardona. So it's like, if you can do that, and that goes by WWE policy, the way that everything's orchestrated and everything, why is it different on the main roster? That doesn't make any sense to me because your audience is seeing all of this on your other shows and they're seeing all of this with the partnership that you made a pretty big deal with and now you're incorporating it into this John Cena the last time is now tournament. So it's like, why can't he be that character? He could have been that heelish character LA Knight's the baby face, even though LA Knight just acts like LA Knight. So it kind of seems like he never really swapped sides to begin with. But it's like you could have had him come back like that. He could have had his little moment here, and then he could have just moved on. I don't. It just felt really odd just seeing his overall presentation online and seeing him get along with the crowd. It almost looks like he's pretending to be somebody that he's not. And this is nothing against him. This is obviously a creative decision. Personally, not really happy about that creative decision because to me, in a way, it kind of feels a little disrespectful knowing what he was doing to get to where he needs to be to build his stock that a lot of people has mentioned he has better stock now than he did before, because before the way that he treated him, he was a phony, he was a loser, the way that they built him in, like, you know, old WWE creative and everything. But you look at him now, it's like, I can take this guy as a main event guy, I can take this guy seriously being in these top matches, especially with somebody like an LA Knight. And again, this has nothing to do with the match. I thought the match was solid and everything, but I didn't like how they presented him here, because that was one of the things people are looking forward to the most outside of his return, just seeing who he is now. And I didn't like how they did that tonight. I thought that was a miss on their part. And even if he was just here for one night, which I'm pretty sure, like I said, is a one-time thing, they could have easily just done that. And I don't really see the issue.
Yeah, even as a one-off, it just kind of feels weird to have it be Zack Ryder coming in, but I'm sure there's going to be some report coming out tomorrow on why this was a
Yeah,
thing
definitely.
and why he went out there as Zack Ryder. Because, like, again, like, and I tried to make sure, even though it's online chatter and all that stuff, I at least wanted to see, okay, what are people thinking and saying about this? I mean, because me and Drop and Vash have our own thoughts, but I do like to see what the thoughts of other people are at the time. And, like, yeah, there were a lot of people that were saying, oh, he said that Zack Ryder was dead. Like, that character is gone, kaput. But then there were other people being like, well, he has apparently stated that he does bring the Zack Ryder stuff with him just in case. And it's like, okay, that's fine. It just feels weird, because like you were saying, he built his stock as Matt Cardona outside of WWE. Like you said, Zack Ryder was kind of a loser in WWE. I mean, do we need to go back to the history that him and Cena do have? Because it's not a pretty history. If anything, it's kind of the reason he left the company, or like the reason
Yeah.
he was basically buried from by the company. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sit right. So for him to come back as Zack Ryder, I mean, again, solid match. It's just why that name, I guess. But again, maybe we'll find out after reports come out, because I'm sure there's some sort of story there. Like, there's some sort of reason. Because, like, again, like, if even if you are gonna do it as a one-off, like I said earlier, why not the presentation of Zack Ryder? Like, where was the headband? Where was the sunglasses? Where, like, you had the music, that was fine. You had the music, they already had the graphics ready too. So, like, I'm I don't know. Like, there's also like a hint in, like, during this match, and I said this too in our Discord, which, by the way, link to our Discord in the description below too. But I said this in our Discord as well. Like, there's just there was a weird energy when it came to this match. Like, LA Knight came out, and you could kind of tell something felt off. Like, he wasn't like fully into his entrance, or like fully into going up onto the rope and like doing his taunt, like LA Knight. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
there was something just very off about everything. So I don't know if there was like an argument backstage during all this. Like, I don't know if, like, when Matt Cardona got there, maybe there was some sort of argument about like the Zack Ryder thing. But I mean, he came out there perfectly fine. But I really don't know, man. It felt really weird. Like, there was just this weird energy towards it. And I'm like, you guys are coming out there, you guys are putting on some good moves, you're making the match, believable, making it feel fine. But I I really don't know. Something just felt off. Mainly on LA Knight's part. Like it
Yeah.
was just his overall demeanor, you know. Like
Yeah, I definitely agree with
it's
that.
like yeah, yeah. Like it's like if you go to work and you're just like, all right, I'm just stocking the shelves, I'm just doing my job, just doing the bare minimum of it. Like yeah, you did a good job, but you know what's up with the attitude, dude? Like you didn't need to have the attitude and all that. But yeah, I mean, so that was like the mystery opponent when it came to LA Knight's side of the John Cena last time is now tournament. When it comes to the other side, we had Jey Uso taking on the Miz, and this match also, it was pretty solid. It was pretty good. I mean, everybody kind of figured Jay was gonna win, which he does, but Miz at least he paid homage to John Cena. He tried to pull the whole five moves of doom thing. Didn't really work when he put up the AA though, but and he took forever to do the five knuckle shuffle, but I mean what can you do with when you have like a very solid worker in there with Jey Uso, which you know what? I will commend commentary for trying to cover up the botch that Jey Uso had there on the turnbuckle when he fell and basically dropped the Miz face first onto the ring and all that. But yeah, Jay wins, so he continues on to like on through the tournament. I mean, great opportunity for him. I don't see him like winning the whole thing, and if he does, interesting choice, I guess, to beat John Cena. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say on that match unless do you have anything more to add towards Jey Uso versus The Miz?
Not really though. I mean, it was basically one of those matches where I was like, okay, I already know the winner. So then I just watched it all the way through. I was like, okay, that's the result. Like that's basically like how I viewed this match, really. Because I mean, I had a feeling he was gonna get in. He was gonna, get the win over Miz because he's a fan favorite and everything. So it's like really wasn't that all surprising to me, if I'm being honest.
Hmm. Yeah. Like there's just not much to go off on that. I mean, they had a solid match. Like it wasn't like god awful, and it wasn't something that I'm like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. It's just it was fine. That not more to go off besides that. But what about you, Vash? Since you've reappeared out of nowhere,
You said my
what
name,
do you
right?
think of Jey Uso versus The Miz?
Yo, Jay, you are ruining your reputation with those botches.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be straight up. Literally, once that botch happened and he dropping the Miz, I was like, damn, Don like is gonna murder you with that aspect of you dropping the Miz. It kind of reminded me of when Randy got mad at Drew, I think a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, when he got mad at Drew and because Randy got dropped at the ropes. He was like, damn, in my 20 years of life, I've never been dropped at the ropes. Bro, I was mad about that. And that kind of reminds me, like, yo, Jay really dropped the Miz on the ropes. Like, as a match. I don't know what he was trying to do or pick him up. And it's just the memes that said, like, bro needs to do more squat racks. I'm like, God damn, Jay, your stock is falling. Hopefully, there's not too much bad blood. Hopefully, these budgets do not make it look bad. But my full comment on this is this: Jay should have not won. I'm gonna be straight up. Jay should have not won. Jay has no
Hmm.
history with John Cena. John Cena has history with the Miz a lot more. Jay has like intertwining stories with John Cena around other people, but he has no concentrated like feuds like the Miz. I would have rather seen the Miz pursuing like the story that he's been saying or tweeting about Miz versus John or Miz versus Cena. I'd rather have seen that. But Jay winning, I know it's most likely trying to push the agenda of him and War Games, stock and everything. But right now, for the final thing, it should have been the Miz. I'm gonna be straight up. As much as I enjoy my four letters, one word, yeet.
Hmm.
However, I would have preferred my 3 letters, Ms. Awesome.
Well, okay, so that whole thing with people being like, "Oh, these people don't have history with John." First of all, people will say that, but then they'll be like, "Oh, well, this should be a new and upcoming person to face John Cena." Like, I mean, people are even turning on the whole idea of Gunther for that reason alone. It's just like you guys want to bitch and moan about how like there's not a new and upcoming person facing John Cena, but then when there is somebody in the tournament like Gunther or possible Obafemi on Monday, which we'll wait to see what happens with that mystery opponent. But it's just like you have those people in the tournament, and yet you say you don't like you want somebody that has history with Cena. Which, if we want to be honest, there is history with Jay and Cena. Like just this year. I mean, if it wasn't for Jay eliminating Cena from the Royal Rumble, Cena would have run the Rumble for one. For two, we may not have had heel Cena at all if it wasn't for that. So, like, he wouldn't have had that little shitty run or that shitty part of the year going on. So, like,
So,
there is a bit of history there. And plus, with Jay, he's kind of also divisive, kind of how John was. Like, do we need to recall, hey, let's go Cena sucks chance, and how people right now, I mean, I guess the equivalent of that right now is the IWC versus the
uh,
in-house
crowd. Yeah, the
audience.
crowd.
Yeah. Which, crowd, please, I am begging you, wherever, like, no, just everybody get a damn metronome and work on the yeeting with their timing, because God, it
So,
irks me so
you
much.
you bring a good argument. Sorry, you bring a good counter
Yeah.
argument towards what I was saying, and I do agree. The only thing is that if I had the choice, as you said, the Miz or Jay in this matchup, I would have rather have seen the Miz further up in this pursuit that he's already been telling us over the past couple weeks, saying that he should be the one or one of the final points for John Cena. Even though at the end of the tunnel, I don't want it as much as that I enjoy Miz right now, putting the agenda out there. I enjoy it, but I don't want him to be the last opponent. For Jay, as much as that you said that have new people or this recent history over the earlier of the year, I don't have an interest for Jay or John, or like seeing people say, Yeet versus, the last person.
Hmm.
I don't have any interest for that. That's why if I had the choice of the red pill be the Miz, the blue pill be Jay, the Miz 100% right now between the two options. But if this was a
Yeah.
different option, like for example, Ilja Dragunov and the Miz, I would be like Ilja Dragunov 100% and take this motherfucker all the way
Hmm.
to the final against John Cena. Because the way I've said it past couple weeks, the way I see that the last opponent should be is somebody that is young, like how he was when it was Kurt Angle all those years ago, where John could give this next opponent the extra rub that Kurt Angle gave him all those years ago.
Hmm.
That's how I see it. So like a Obafemi, a Adrian Dragunov, for me, that's why I don't see a Gunther. Gunther already has established himself already as a IC champion, very established as the ring general. So for me, I don't see him as a final opponent for John. If it was earlier, sure, but final opponent on mine, no. I would love to see him against Brock. You could destroy the beast. Be the general that you are. But as John
Hmm.
on my end, that's why I don't see him as a final because he already has established himself. Would the rub help from John? Hell yeah. But on my end, I'd rather give it to like, for example, one of the people that we know for next week, Carmelo Hayes. Imagine Carmelo Hayes
Hmm.
takes a W in his whole run. That will actually be very helpful because, he hasn't gotten much in the past year and a half, even though Nick Aldis likes to say that, hey, I was first runner up of the draft. I'm like, hey, yeah, that hasn't been very useful in a while, but yeah, get out to hear it. But that's my long ramble,
I
Watkins.
mean, the thing is, like, because I've seen that take too with the whole Gunther thing. But here's the other thing with it, like Gunther, he really needs to be built up as a final boss kind of thing, and no, not a freaking Rock kind of final boss, like an actual legit, like I am the final boss for you. Like you want to beat this game, you gotta beat me. Like, all right, cool, neat, awesome. Kind of like what Brock Lesnar was. And it's interesting you mentioned Brock Lesnar because I know that's somebody that Gunther does want to face down the line eventually. But here's the thing: if we want to build Gunther up for Brock, he's got to beat people that are not only on like that are on that upper tier of a Lesnar. And one of those people is John Cena. Like he's again, hustle, loyalty, respect. Never give up. Imagine Gunther being the guy to take out John Cena by a sleeper hold, by having him like, even if John doesn't tap out, just having him pass out alone is enough for Gunther to run on. And to have a year where not only you retired Goldberg, but also retired John Cena, that's literally gonna turn you into a megastar, a,
Every
a
time Bill
top
Goldberg
tier
and
player.
John Cena.
Like, exactly. Like that's just the thing. And like people are just arguing like back and forth, like, oh, Gunther shooting. I'm just like, nah, Gunther should. Gunther
I see
is the
you give
choice,
it
you
you
know?
give a good route for that. I see the
Yeah.
vision. I see the direction you're going for. I see where the world champion is dropping that knowledge.
Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, I get it because, like, I would also love for Carmelo Hayes to be one of John Cena's final opponents. I would love for Joe Hendry to actually be John Cena's final opponent. I get that. I understand that. I fully grasp that concept. However, none of those people are going to be beating John Cena. You want an actual legit, like, because there's the other thing too. Like, people will be like, oh, where's the story? We're the story. We're all story people. We want the story. Here's the story. It's literally Gunther destroying John Cena. Gunther taking John Cena to town. Gunther taking John Cena and being like, hey, you went for years being the sports entertainment guy. How about you fight the legit thing, the real thing, the wrestler? Take a chop from Gunther, John. See how that feels as you're going out. Like, again, not
Brutal.
the face, but get that on your chest. Have that feeling. I want to hear those chops when I'm in there at. At DC. I'm not going to be spending that money just to hear no chops and not hear that shit where I'm at. Nah, I want to hear that where I'm at. I want to be able to see John's chest turn all rosy red and bloody red and all that. I'm just like, come on, give me
Damn.
that.
They want to go
Look,
home in pain. Jeez.
yeah, man. Like, give me that stuff. But like, I just don't get it. Like, I mean, well, no, I get it, but I also don't get it. It's just like Gunther's right there. And I get it too with like, oh, John has the IC title. Well, Gunther doesn't need the IC title because he'll end up having to lose that too again. It's like, I get that aspect too. Like, Gunther literally had a 666-day reign with the IC title. Fully understand that, fully get it. He can make somebody else by dropping the title again too. But I'm thinking more bigger picture here. I'm thinking more of like, we need to build the stars for now because Cena's out. Brock's not going to be there much longer. I mean, he's getting up there in age, even though, his style, he'll be able to do stuff for longer, but like, he's not going to be around that much longer, and like, they really need these top stars. So, like, when we have these people like the Seth Rollins, who is out right now, injured, when Roman's not around, who's going to be the big threat? Like when these people get injured and hurt, who's going to be the big guy? Who's going to be the big threat? Who's going to be that main final boss for people? And it can't be The Rock because he's doing the Hollywood bullshit. Like, it's got to be
Yo,
somebody like Gunther. And like,
I
that's
got
one
somebody
thing
better.
that WWE that's one thing WWE is just missing is that absolute monster on the roster. Like, yeah, you could say, oh, but Braun Breaker's right there. When's the last time Braun Breaker had a freaking goddamn match?
Good
I don't
point.
remember. But again, I have a memory of Swiss cheese. So, take that with a grain of salt. But like even that, it's like, when's the last memorable Braun Breaker match?
That's a good point. I was gonna say that I recommend one opponent. We just heard
Hmm.
their name, Zebra Bros.
Oh. You're talking about Roman
It took you a second.
or CM
It took
Punk?
you a second. Exactly. Exactly. Uh, I just want to bring that up real quick because it was just hilarious to still find out the two people that we were trying to theorize last week, Shaq. So it's just hilarious to actually find out who they were.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was funny. The fact that they're zebra cop buddies. That's
And I love how
hilarious.
CM Punk during the red carpet was like, I don't know, am I a zebra? Am I a cop? Or, I'm a bit of both. I'm a zebra, bro. And it was great to work with Roman. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's talking too positive about Roman. This is weird. So it was just funny to hear that in that relationship and to actually find out like it makes me more excited to watch Zootopia. But then when I watch it, do I review it for Weebs of the Ring or do I review it for AniMa W3 Studio or do I combine it? Since it's all the
Uh
two wrestlers.
I mean, look, they could just fusion dance and be done with it.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, again, we did get our final first round matches solidified. We have Carmelo Hayes taking on Bronson Reed, which, sorry about your bad luck, Carmelo Hayes, but I mean, I don't know if they're going to use this to kind of build more towards War Games, or if they're going to do something with the
That's a
Miz
possibility.
with it. I mean, they could. It could go either way when it comes to that. But I have enjoyed the fact that like these matches haven't had any interference. So if we could just keep that going, that would be great. But hey, we're also getting Penta versus Finn Balor, which I feel like we've seen before. I don't know. It's weird to have like two Raw stars on SmackDown facing each other in this tournament. Like that just feels odd to me. Like why are we
Well,
doing it that way or what?
guess what? Good thing Michael Cole brought that up during commentary as well during the Jey Uso match. He said it like,
Mm,
well, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that for this John Cena Farewell Tour, that we will be having the roster of Raw SmackDown intertwining with one another to compete during this tournament. So quick reminder, everyone. Thank you very much for understanding. I'm like, oh, so this is your guys' way of explaining why we're having our tournament in mixed places, but then you're gonna still explain that we're having two Raw people in a. Why can they have this match on Raw? Why do they need to have it on SmackDown?
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
guess that's
exactly.
because they're
Like
spinning the random balls. It's like, hey, just because we're still hosting the SmackDown match,
mhm,
don't matter who is versing on it. It just matters that they're on the match of the show. That's my assumption.
yeah. It's it's just kind of silly. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of silly. It's just like, okay, these are some
Who
Raw
you betting
stars.
on it
Why are they
though?
here on SmackDown? Like, all right, cool, neat, awesome.
Who you betting on though? For Carmelo and Bronson, I'm putting Carmelo just because I'm hoping. And for Penta or
Hmm.
Finn, it's a 50-50 for me, but I'm a P tossing it up to Penta.
Hmm. Um. Hmm. Part of me would like for Carmelo Hayes to win. So you know what? I'm gonna put Carmelo Hayes on there. I think mainly because I think they're gonna do more for the War Games build for that match than. I mean, again, Miz could interfere because Carmelo did shout out
Yeah.
Miz, but I
Red
mean,
flag right there.
I don't know. I as much as I don't want interference in this tournament at all, like this is one match that I can definitely see interference happening, but hopefully on Carmelo's side, so that way he can actually pick up a win, pick up a good W there. When it comes to Penta versus Finn Balor, that's also kind of a toss up because
Agree.
I mean neither of them are gonna win the tournament. So it's just like, okay, well, who would I rather see like lose in the next round? I mean, I'd rather Finn lose in the next round, so that way he can actually get a W. But like, it's probably gonna be Penta winning. But hopefully, he fights somebody that is a legitimate threat. Like, let's say the winner of that match has to fight Gunther.
Exactly.
Okay.
Agree.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, Javon Evans. You'll get your offense in, like we said on Monday. You're not beating Gunther.
I'm putting
You're
my
just not.
all chips on Javon Evans. I'm gonna be the odd one out here. Okay.
Well, you're definitely going to be an odd one out when it comes to that. So we mentioned war games. Let's talk about our war games build as we go forward, because we're not worrying about having a world title match or WWE title match. We got to build it to war games because both of our world champions are part of war games now. So tonight's little build for War Games has Cody Rhodes taking on Bronson Reed in a title match. And this is set up because Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed are there on SmackDown to be like, hey, we're here to recruit for our team. It's in our contract. We can take anybody from any brand on the roster and all that. So, hey, we're here on SmackDown. We're going to get somebody. And they kind of goad Cody into a title match, which cool, even though it seems like the plan was just you guys were gonna beat up Cody anyways. So it's just like, why even make this a title match to
That's
begin with? But cool, fine, whatever. But hey, I'm just glad that this just all led to Drew McIntyre being part of War Games. But not only him, like we also get confirmation that Jimmy's gonna be part of the War Games team as well, which thanks Dirt Sheets for telling us how the War Games was going to be structured and all that. So
yeah.
thanks for those spoilers, everybody. Drops thumb. If you're an audio only right now, Drops giving the big old 2 thumbs down right now of everything. What what, Drop? We haven't heard from you in a while, so let's hear from you right now. What do you think of, I guess, the build for this title match tonight, quote unquote, and I guess the insertion of Drew McIntyre in the War Games match?
So this is one of the things that I had an issue with on the show, mainly because it makes no sense why this match was booked. Because if I was Bronson Reed and I had the opportunity at the world title, if it's the one Cody has or Punk has, I would want to look at that and be like, you know what? This is my chance to claim gold, something that I haven't been able to do since I came back to WWE, since I'm on the main roster now doing my own thing for a while. And I'm actually getting reps where people actually, give a crap about me and everything. So it's like, I would look at this as like an opportunity. And then you had the whole thing towards the end where Ron Breaker comes in, DQ happens. If I was Bronson Reed, I'd be giving the tsunami to like Braun Breaker the entire time, because that was his shot to become a world champion and everything. Because Braun Breaker can't complain because he can always go after the other like world title on Raw. So it's like they can both have those titles if they really want to. Not saying that's going to happen, but in theory, you could have done you could have like went down that route. Not saying it makes sense, but you get what I'm trying to say. The opportunity's there. Try to do the very best you can to do what you need to do to get the job done. So it just didn't make sense because you had what happened towards the end. Drew McIntyre came back. Okay, we know who the guy is that's going to be the 4th member of their team and everything, because obviously the babyfaces got Jimmy earlier, even though I kind of wanted like a Roman or, John Cena thing, because I just felt like it would just work really well with Roman there, but it is what it is. Now we're moving on from it. And then we have Drew McIntyre, like I said, taking that spot right there. So I didn't understand why this was a stipulation at all. Maybe it was just bragging rights. Maybe it was just maybe it's just to have Cody look tough and everything. Oh yeah, I'll put my title line, whatever it is. That's kind of how I took it at this point, where it's like he didn't care. He was really pissed off. Okay, do this, do that. I just want to tear this guy limb from limb. That's just how I honestly looked at it. But again, didn't need to happen if you were going to get a result like this. But there's your War Games match build right there, guys.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Not
I
up.
don't remember when it was mentioned, but yeah, Drew was mentioned for the heel team, which it kind of makes sense because like the reports are
Yeah, it
like,
makes
oh,
sense.
which again, thanks Observer for getting a correct uh correct news statement out there, with oh Drew's going out to freaking film for a movie. Like, no, they're still waiting on Henry Cavill to be healed up from his injury from whatever that was. Like, they're not going to be recording or taping for Highlander yet. Highlander? Yeah,
Yeah.
Highlander.
Yes.
Highlander? Yeah. Okay, good. I blanked on the name of the movie real quick. Yeah, they're not filming for that yet. So it's just like, why would Drew be off TV? Like, I remember even kind of questioning it last week too. Like, why would that be a thing? I mean, he could be going off the film, but like it made more sense for him to like show up either on Monday or again like he did tonight to be part of the War Games match, because that in turn gives you, I mean, even though it happened after Cody joined, but it gives Drew just incentive to be part of War Games, because like now he has an in to get back to Cody and to like continue that feud going forward. But yeah, it just it at least happened, but it's fine that it did. It just, again, I question why was this even a title match to begin with?
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I I would be like Bronson Reed, like, hey, I want to get this title. Why'd you guys fuck it up for me? Like, why'd you guys do that to
I was
me?
thinking that the entire
Like,
time.
okay, yeah, it's just like, why was this a title match? You know, um, I don't know. Vash, can you explain why it was a title match? Maybe you can help me understand this.
Bad news. I don't got no positive things about this. Not saying that anything good or bad. It's just that I was hyped how Paul introduced us. Hey, trying to instigate. Yo, if have a match, why don't make it interesting? Have a title match. Yo, if Bronson Reed took the L, I would be okay. Execute a good pro wrestling match to the audience. Show Bronson Reed being dominant. Do tsunami. Maybe have Cody put the leg up on the rope so he doesn't really put out his leg, but it was more smart cutting off a champion. Do stuff like that. Braun Breaker, I'm sorry. If my group of gang, my group of squad, if I'm here with Dropper Watkins in our wrestling storyline, if I have one of them come out in my middle of a match of a title and my match win DQ, I will slap them myself. I'm like, why the fuck you entering my match?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
Heyman came here and told you the decision, can you have waited until I was probably losing? Don't just cause a DQ. If I was gonna lose or something, but I wasn't
Yeah.
even close to that. Didn't you hear commentary? Commentary was saying that Cody Rhodes is having a hard time to counter Bronson Reed in his overpower. All right, that's good. Good story. He's putting him over. However, Braun Breaker just comes in. What's the point, Triple Page? I get it that you're trying to build
Mhm.
war games, but also build, like you say, long-term storytelling. You're supposed to have a character. Also, Bronson Reed be over the crowd even from now until next year. Not just war games, but have him as a continuous heel and work well. So don't
Mhm.
have him lose a DQ match of a title match that you even pull him on for by Paul Heyman, by instigating even Cody into the match and getting him into the mind, playing these mind games. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah,
That's all I
it's
got.
just weird. Yeah, it's just really weird.
Yeah, just
And I can't. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it just feels very convoluted.
Yeah, convoluted for convoluted's sake. And don't worry, we'll get into more convoluted things when it comes to the other War Games match as well. But like when it comes to the men's side with it, there are two things I want to throw out to you guys. The first one being Jimmy Uso being inserted in all this. I have a feeling that he's gonna end up being taken out the week of, and that's
So
how
meaning,
they. Okay, go ahead.
so you mean on the pre-tape on the Friday before Thanksgiving, or on the actual show that we're watching on a Friday of next
No,
week?
So like Monday. So like
Oh, so
the
this coming Monday.
Monday of WarGames.
Oh, so Monday of that WarGames. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, I
literally
can see it.
almost last minute. And then like that pre-taped Friday SmackDown would be when we get the replacement, which the way I'm seeing is like, okay, have Roman come back this coming Monday, being like the actual fifth guy named th- for their team and all that. The fifth guy on the heel side, we'll get to that in just a second. But like the way I can kind of see this happening is maybe like, okay, the fifth guy on the face team gets announced, Roman Reigns. So now we have like the Usos, Roman, Cody, and CM Punk. Cool, great, awesome, fan flippin-tastic. But I could see Jimmy getting taken out the following Monday leading up to War Games. And it's like, okay, well, now we got to scramble to find a fifth guy. That could be where they just throw John Cena in there and be like, hey, Cena, you want to be part of War Games on Saturday? Oh, well, I am scheduled for Saturday War Games, so fine, why not? And they could just throw John Cena in there that way. And why do I say it like that? Well, WWE just likes to do last minute shit like that.
They
But
do. They do.
when it comes to the heel side, I want to hear you guys, at least at this point in time. Vash, I'll start with you with this. How do you guys feel about Brock being part of War Games, and whether or not you think he actually will be part of it?
So, do I feel that Brock Lesnar will be the fifth member? Most likely, because remember, I said like maybe 4 or 6 weeks ago during some PLE in September that Brock Lesnar came by the backstage walking away to his car and he saw Paul Heyman, hey, we gotta talk. And Paul Heyman is like, yes, we do. Because Paul Heyman likes to plan ahead. He likes to be the oracle. So most likely that was his way of saying, hey, come join me for War Games. You're gonna be our big extra monster. We have Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, we got a whole squad. Am I excited for it? No, but I'm curious to see how they're gonna tell the story involving this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting with that. But drop what about you? What do you feel about Brock's involvement with War Games? If you see like at this point, do you see him being part of it? Do you not see him being part of it? What you got?
I can see him being a part of it. I don't care to see it, but I definitely
Mhm.
do see him being a part of it because you gotta eventually like build to what you did at that, event that we saw in September. Because you're not gonna just leave it open ended and then wait a whole year or so to do something with it. Like obviously there's a connection between him and Paul, and you even had Paul come out with him that night that he had that match with John Cena. So it's like, why not, run that back and connect the dots so you could have him as their fifth guy. It just makes the most sense
Mhm.
to me from a realistic point of view, the way that the everything's structured when it comes to, okay, who do we realistically see part of this thing? He's the only other guy that really comes to mind. Outside of that, I don't really know because we were even struggling talking about this a little
Mhm.
bit ago when it came to the heel side and everything. And Drew McIntyre, like we talked about, made a lot of sense. And there really is another fifth guy that really makes any sense but Brock. Because I feel like at
Mhm.
least if you do that, you would get like a good balance. You could get all these, tough guys on the team. Because I don't know if you guys ever seen, even though the team would kind of feel like this. I don't know if you guys ever seen that the soldier meme with the clown.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
So I'm not
with like
saying,
with like the four different soldiers and the clown standing in
And
line
the
with
one
them.
in the middle, yes, yes, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Understand the
So
one.
I'm not saying that Brock Lesnar is one of those soldiers, but realistically, I would put him as one because four of those guys that are the soldiers that are tough guys that you could actually take seriously is Drew McIntyre,
Mhm.
Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and who am I missing? Oh, Brock Lesnar. Like those four guys you could take
Yeah.
seriously as those soldiers. Logan Paul's the clown in that group. So
Yeah.
he's gonna feel like the outlier in that whole entire thing, which is like I spoke about before. It's just gonna be funny seeing Brock Lesnar teaming with Logan Paul out of all people. It's just a
Yeah.
pretty funny thought just to think about. Just seeing him around these guys is just funny to think about because at least with them, you could sort of understand where they're coming from and everything. That guy is just a clown, and I hate to say this too, and I've been talking a little bit down on him. Not saying I don't like him or anything, but I kind of feel the same way with the babyface side too, because
Mhm.
let's say that Jimmy gets taken out, which I can realistically see happen, because I see Roman, coming back at some point, especially since he's not really doing anything. I mean, if Cody's back, doing his usual thing on SmackDown, even though he didn't really have as big as a role as Roman did, I would assume, after him and Punk are doing press for the whole Zootopia movie and everything, I could easily see him come in, and then you would probably end up having, like you said, Watkins. You would have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, and John Cena. I hate to say it, Jey Uso would probably be that clown in that scenario as well. He would just feel
Mhm.
like an outlier to me. Not saying he's bad
Yeah.
or anything. It's just I'm not feeling him as of late, and compared to those other big names that I mentioned, he's not really at their level. He works really hard to get where he needs to be. I'm not gonna take that away from him, but the way that I'm looking at everything structured, that does seem like the sort of direction that they're going down. If Brock Lesnar isn't the guy, I can't really think of anybody else it could be. Like I don't know. The heel side I've been having the
Yeah.
hardest time figuring out. I can't really think of anybody else. Like, let's say hypothetically it's not Brock, then who else would it be really?
Yeah, like that's the problem there cuz like logically Brock makes the most sense. But the problem with that is Brock doesn't really work on logic unless it's his own.
Yeah.
And I really don't think Brock is really worked up enough to do a war games match. I really don't. I really don't think so. And I don't really trust WWE to really book Brock like that, but
Yeah,
I
it doesn't.
mean, uh, yeah.
Yeah, because like the funny thing about it is like the match concept itself fits Brock when it
Mhm.
comes to putting a beast inside of a ring of all these other guys and just ripping them apart. That makes
Yeah.
sense when it comes to the Brock character, but Brock himself as an individual, especially where he is nowadays, it's kind of hard to really
Mhm.
place it there. Because I can't even
Yeah.
say it's a
Like
50-50 thing. It's more of like a 25% chance he's actually in that match.
yeah. And I mean, I even struggle with even thinking of who replaces him or who takes his spot. I mean,
Yeah.
if if they wanted to be ballsy, they could always pull from NXT, but then it's like, okay, are
True.
you really gonna throw like an Obafemi in that spot? Are you gonna throw a Trick Williams in that spot? Like,
Yeah.
and if you do, I mean, first of all, that's gonna push them, but
Yeah.
also you're gonna have to like really make it make sense. Cause like and the reason I mentioned those two, and mainly with NXT, is the fact that Paul Heyman did say, "Hey, any brand I can take from, I could be on any brand." So
Yeah.
it's like
Anybody
you
under
could
a
show up.
WWE contract.
Yeah.
hmm So you could show up at NXT and be like, "Hey guys, how you doing? Oba, I know you're busy with going back after Ricky Saints after last week or this week, I guess, but hey, you want to go up to the main roster since you're not going to be part of John Cena's tournament? Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Again, we still have another mystery opponent there. Just I don't know. I don't at this point of everything, I don't trust WWE to really think logically
Yeah.
um by putting Brock in there. But again, like if Brock wants to work, then fine. Cool, neat, awesome. Like then we get to the point of like, okay, do I really care to see Brock at this point? Which if you've listened to some of our other past episodes, you kind of know my thoughts on Brock Lesnar just in general, anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of question this week's storytelling, or at least this SmackDown storytelling, when it comes to building up the WarGames match. Because again, like, Bronson Reed should kind of be pissed off that he got a title match
Yeah, it doesn't
and
make
got
sense.
DQ'd just to send a message, just to be like, oh, look at us, we're standing tall. It's like, why not win the match? Why not, like,
Agree.
that? Think of the think of the biggest, like, mental mental games you can be playing by taking a main title, the WWE title, the top title in the company, away from somebody that's on your opposing side. But no, no, we just gotta beat him up and all that, because hey, we gotta end this SmackDown like we end all of our Raws and all that. But I don't know, that might have just been hate coming out right there. I don't know. Maybe we'll get more better build on Monday. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But you know what else did happen tonight? Some mid card stories happened, which we got a couple things to talk about here, and a couple quick fire segments, which I feel bad about the quick fire segments when we get to them, but you know, we'll talk about those when we get to them.
It will
Let's
be
start with
quick
our
fire.
Oh my god, yes. Let's start with our US Open Challenge. Ilya Dragunov took on Axiom tonight. Now, this is also something we're gonna have to talk about too, because like Champa brings up a good point. We had this backstage segment with like Champa and Dragunov, where like Champa, he wants that title, obviously, because you know it's a US title. It's a singles title. That'd be something great for you to have and all that. But he keeps saying that, like, hey, I want this title. I want to take opportunity of the open challenge, but Dragunov just isn't honoring the idea or the concept of an open challenge. And I understand Dragonov's mindset when
Yeah,
it comes to this, where it's just like, oh, I only want to face against opponents that are honorable and like
makes
actually want to
sense.
make this title mean something. Like, I get that mindset, but at the same time, it's an open fucking challenge. Whoever, whatever challenges come your way, just beat them down. And if you really want to teach Champa a lesson, like, I get the mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna play mind games with you, blah blah blah. Just beat his ass, man. Like, you're the freaking Saiyan Czar. Just kick his ass and be done with it. But you know, we did get a pretty damn good match between Ilya Dragunov and Axiom tonight. Like, just the closing stages alone, where Axiom, like, the sheer balance this man has when he goes onto the top ropes. Like, when he leapt onto the top rope for that like moonsault DDT onto Dragunov. Oh my god, that shit was good. That was really good, man. Like, match quality was there when it came to this match, but of course, Ilya Dragunov picks up the win in very handy fashion. Thought the match was really good, and of course, after the match, Axiom gets attacked by Champa. So, Drop, what do you think of the match? What do you think of the logic of Dragunov's open challenges when it comes to the US title? What you got for us?
This was probably my favorite part of the night, if I'm being 100% honest, because this has been the part of SmackDown that's been pretty consistent because it went from John to Sammy to Ilya Dragunov to really carry the legacy of the US Open Challenge. And I mean, there's nobody better for Sami Zayn to patch the torch to than Ilya Dragunov just because of who the character is himself when it comes to representing what an open challenge should be when it comes to honor and everything surrounding that. It makes a lot of sense, and I do agree with his logic when it comes to that. He wants to give it to worthy competitors, people that make sense, not people like Champa, who's too much of a jackass to really understand exactly what's going on right now. And I agree with Ilya Dragunov's taste when it comes to his opponents because the guys that he's been in the ring with outside of Johnny Gargano, because me and you were upset about that last week when we talked about it, it's been
Hmm.
pretty consistent when it comes to showcasing what these other guys are all about as well as himself. Because when I saw him and Ilya Dragunov, Axiom and Ilya Dragunov take on each other in that moment, that really got a good reaction out of me because They knew each other very well. They're moving around the ring a lot. Axiom did this very impressive DDT on Ilya Dragunov, as well as the Spanish Fly as well. So those two were treating this as a proper wrestling match, showcasing the kind of skills that they have to really prove, okay, the US title, it's been lacking for a little bit, but since, Sami
Mm-hmm.
took over and Ilya Dragunov took over, now things are, coming together where, this is something on SmackDown that we can look forward to every single week. And obviously Ciampa's going to get his moment eventually. I have nothing against that. The guy's a great wrestler. I'm pretty sure him and Ilya Dragunov are going to have a great match whenever that match indeed happens. I'm just hoping eventually we do get to that. I'm not saying that as a nitpick or anything, but I am very, very intrigued to get to that result because I just really want to see these guys tear each other apart because both of them can be very aggressive. We've seen how aggressive Ilya Dragunov is, but Ciampa also can get very aggressive, especially from what we've seen before with him in the past. Not only like on the main roster, but like taking the character out of NXT, the way that he was there, the way that he was obsessed with gold and everything. Like I really want to see that, which is I guess one of the things I do want to say about the partnership between him and Johnny Gargano. If they're not aiming for tag team gold and everything, have them still be a team, but have them, use this opportunity to go after titles like this to prove, I'm not just a tag guy, I can also be another guy as well. Because when they came up, I was really looking forward to seeing them shine. And these were the people that a lot of fans had high hopes for. And I'm just really hoping that kicks into gear soon because I can look at the guys and I can take them seriously from a realistic, looking at the overall presentation of a wrestler. But I mean, when are we going to get into that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you there when it comes to like the whole presentation of, let's just be a wrestler,
Needs the beard back
Like
too.
he does. He really does, and I mean, no fault of his own, to having to shave that off. I mean, accidents happen, you got to do what you got to do to get properly healed up for it and all that. But yeah, I look forward to their eventual match. And like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the kind of tease that they're doing with Champa, where it's just like, oh yeah, I want to fight honorable people, not jackasses. It's like,
Yeah,
all right,
I agree with that.
that's kind of fun. That is very fun. But
Yeah.
Agreed.
again, Champa does bring up that point of like, okay, it's supposed to be an open challenge, but it's only open to some people. That's not fair. But hey, you're a heel. Get over it. Go over in the corner and deal with it. But Vash, how have you been dealing with all this? Was this your favorite moment of the night when it?
I agree,
We'll
Hiccup
just leave it off of
Watkins.
that.
I agree, Hiccup
Let's
Watkins,
leave-
100%. 100% by that. Beautiful transition, like previously as well. We're not gonna let this go, 100%. However, you guys said it perfectly. I don't have to add too much. This was a well done match. Campia is gonna be, I assume, he might be the next champion for the US title, which I don't mind if he continues this route to pushing the fans. Hopefully, it gets over for him and he shows that in the next couple weeks or maybe month or so. Who knows, depending on how the route goes. However, this match was solid. Axiom and is Dragunov really cook how they do their shit. Like I, you can't get a bad match from our Super Brawly, or you call him what? Our
Hmm.
Super Czar?
Oh, our Saiyan Czar, because we have a Saiyan Prince, there's a Saiyan King, all that stuff. But since he's the Czar of WWE, hey, he's the Saiyan Czar, if you will. So
Saiyans are understood. So
yeah,
to our Saiyans are, I can't add any more than what we haven't already said. Solid as hell. Can't add.
yep, yeah. So I'm looking forward to more of these open challenges, more, just more. You know, like Dragunov's been doing, if not, this has been consistently the best part of SmackDown each week. So just keep these going, man. Like again, this has been the highlight of every SmackDown that we've had for the past like 12 weeks too. Because like
Really
even
has.
commentary had mentioned, yeah, this is like the 12th week that we've had these open challenges going on.
I agree
Oh man,
100%.
yeah, and like whether it was Dragunov, Sami Zayn doing it, they've all been really good. So just keep it up, and we're in for a good time. But speaking of Sami Zayn, he had some things to go on tonight because he was out there to confront Solo Sikoa because they've been like the MFT's been beating up on people like the Motor City Machine Guns, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ray Phoenix, and the whole time Sami's been wanting to help and deal with them, but he's been on the injured list since the MFTs came back and all that.
Pretty much, yeah.
And yeah, so he calls Solo out to the ring. Solo comes out there, and I do like how Solo's just like, yeah, I know the real pathetic you, blah, blah, blah. So, like, kind of harkening back to their history and everything when it comes to the bloodline. But, you know, this leads to Sammy basically confirming, hey, I'm cleared as of tonight. We can has a fight, but I didn't come here alone. No, just like we are here as a group of Weebs the Ring, Sammy came out as a group with not only Shinsuke Nakamura, but they had Ray Phoenix and Motor City Machine Guns out there to take out the MFTs. And we'll find out later on that in 2 weeks' time on the Go Home SmackDown for Survivor Series War Games, we're getting a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. I'm actually really excited for this. I was hoping we would go down this route. I'm kind of sad it's not against the Wyatts, which again, why are they not doing anything besides just teasing against the MFTs? Like, could they not be doing another program in between all this? Because you know they are your freaking tag team champions, but you know I guess tag team wrestling's just dead when it comes to WWE and all that. But again, I'm glad we're getting this 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. Do I see the face teams winning this one? No, I kind of see the more established MFT winning this 5-on-5 match. I think they're gonna come out on top and just kind of look stronger, just going into that eventual program with the Wyatt Six. But Vash, what did you think of this segment with Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa? The announcement of the traditional 5-on-5 elimination tag team match for the Go Home episode of SmackDown. Talk to me, buddy.
We're having a damn 5-on-5 Survivor Standard Series match, and that's what I'm honestly looking forward to more on the week of Survivor Series. That's what I'm honestly looking
Mhm.
forward to. Again, the crazy mix-up match. We have Nakamura, we have with Motor City Machine Gun, and then when we have Sami Zayn, like this is such an interesting matchup that I'm intrigued to see where it goes. They're have the chemistry and who the leader will be. So I'm really curious about that. But overall, did I care about the other stuff? No, no, no.
Mhm. Yeah, like one issue I'm starting to have with like a lot of promos in WWE is nothing really feels like it sticks with you. So it's like, okay, some of the performances can be good and all that stuff, but like once you're done with the show, you don't really think on it too much at all. Like it's just like, oh, the promo happened. They said their thing. And like when you look at the structure of the promos, it's basically almost the same thing that each babyface or each heel says. Oh,
Yeah,
we run this division. We run this show. It's like, can we say something different?
that
Something more?
or throw hands will do something because when even Sammy just threw down the mic and said, "Come
Hmm.
at me, then," and I'm like, still nobody's gonna pull a punch. Until he
Yeah.
said, "Oh, by the way, I didn't come alone." I'm like, okay, so we had them. Like Solo, if that's the case, you should have just thrown the hand. He literally said, "Well, guess what? As of tonight, I am medically clear." I'm like, Solo, if once you heard that, you should have just given the hands the order. Why the fuck just standing there? It feels too much.
Yeah.
It feels too much of the theatrics, too much of the theater aspect of like everything has to be set up. It doesn't feel the organism that we used to have, where like everything was flowing. Now we're like, okay, you say your line, now let me wait my line. Until you say your line, I cannot do my next step. Like they're not improvising, like they're not going off the dome, and that's what kind of feels a bit staggering, is what I would say.
Hmm.
I can understand that completely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What about you, Drop? What'd you think of this segment? And moving on to an actual traditional Survivor Series match happening the night before Survivor Series.
So when it comes to that, I'm okay with it because we haven't really
Mhm.
seen something like that for quite some time. So that I don't have an issue with. The main thing I really have an issue with is like this whole thing with Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. It's supposed to revolve around the Wyatt Six. And I don't want to keep seeing, and I understand it's in the character of what the group are, but we got it when they were first introduced to us when it came to these little Easter eggs in the background and everything. We know who you are now. You don't really need to do that as much, and if you are doing it, at least do something that actually makes sense when it comes to building more into this feud. Don't just hide in the back and then appear towards the end before the camera pans to something else, because you had that whole thing where they all met in the middle of that ring. The MFTs had their face paint, the Wyatt Six were there. They were all looking at each other. Why are we not building more into that? Why are we not diving into Solo Sikoa as a character? Because there's just so many things that you can break down with him when it comes to the kind of ammunition that the Wyatt Six could shoot at Solo Sikoa to really, bring him down, or to like really set him off, or just, I guess, maybe hit him at a personal level. Like, why aren't we doing this? Because it almost seems like the main mission is actually Ray Phoenix and Nakamura and the Motor City Machine Guns, and then the Wyatt Six, even though they started the feud with them, is just a little side quest where you're just taking a gallon of milk and you're moving it maybe 2 to 3 steps, and then you're done. And then you give it to the guy that needs it, and then you just move on. You play the rest of the game. It's like, I don't understand what we're doing here. Why are we building feuds with other people, but we're not taking that time to actually show it week by week? Because now I don't even want to see it anymore. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, that's just how it is. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't care when it happens. I don't want the Wyatt Six as champions, because I don't know what it is, but it's crazy how we had numerous conversations about those women's tag team titles on this show and how they need to be built and everything like that. And Charlotte and Alexa were able to capture that magic in an instant and actually elevate those titles where they actually feel a lot more important in both of these divisions on the show,
Mhm.
when it comes to Raw and SmackDown, when it comes to their tag team division. So it's like, why even have those as titles? You might as well just throw them in the bin, like the 24/7 title, if we're not taking those titles seriously. Because if Solo Sikoa wants his group to look all tough and everything and to call the shots and all that, strap them with gold. You could have had either one of your guys to go after those titles and everything. And if another guy wanted to go after a mid-card title, so be it. But obviously, you're not even building to that, now that I think about it, because you had
Yeah.
Tama Tonga looking at Ilya Dragunov in the back, and then all of a sudden that's non-existent. And Ilya Dragunov's story right now is with Tommaso Ciampa. They have a little thing go on with one another. So whatever you saw in the back with Tama Tonga, looking back and forth at Ilya Dragunov, that's non-existent. It's almost like that never happened. We're supposed to believe, as the viewers of the product, that that never happened. So it's like, why are things like so set? Like, why are you like playing chess, but you're not playing the game properly? It's like your opponent's making all these different moves, but you're not following through to get the advantage so you can win that chess game. Why
Yeah.
introduce us something to the story when it comes to this whole feud if you're not going to do anything with it? Why tease things of Ilya Dragunov if you're not going to do anything with it? Like, you might as well just drop it as a whole and just focus on whatever's going on at Ray Phoenix, Nakamura, Motor City Machine Guns, and Sami Zayn, because that obviously seems to be the main thing that you care about. And then obviously, because if I was WWE, I would assume that the MFTs are going to win the match. It makes sense that they end up winning this match whenever it happens. And then here comes the Wyatt Six, because you needed these group of guys to really build to them. You couldn't just had these guys like they were initially doing, go through a couple tag teams, and then now we can have this sort of feud kicking off, and you could get these little vignettes and everything. That's when the vignettes would make sense. That's when you could pull apart Solo Sikoa and everybody else in his team to really, I don't know, make it feel like you want to be invested in something. Everything just seems very non-consistent in here, which is, like you said before, Watkins, a couple weeks ago, Road Dogg needs to get out of creative, because none of these stories make any sense at all whatsoever. We do not need Road Dogg in this company, and that's not me targeting him as an individual on a personal level, but from a creative standpoint, it's time to walk out the door, hand the keys to someone else, and then have them walk into that room and actually have television that makes sense. Because I don't want to tune into this every single week and expect nothing out of this. It just seems like, I don't know. It's basically like you take a pen, big scribbles. That's all it is. Scribbles.
Yeah. Well, like, because they're so focused on building multiple shows and multiple things all at the same time, when it's just like, it doesn't always have to be like that. Like, if you're
Yeah.
doing the tease with like Tamatonga with Ilya Dragunov, fine, whatever. You're gonna tease that for like
Yeah.
later on down the road when he's done with Champa. Cool, neat, awesome, fantastic. But like, this stuff with like the Wyatts has been going on for probably ever. I want to say ever since they won the damn titles.
Yeah.
Like, if not a little bit after that. Maybe it was like around SummerSlam when they were gonna have like that multi tag ladder match and all that. So like, it might have been around then when we started getting the teases. But that was like 3 months ago, people. We haven't done shit with it
No.
at all. Like, we finally had the MFTs on screen. They're having a couple matches, but hey, we can't be asked to have any more matches than what we've already had. We can't mix up the teams a little bit because, whatever, fuck you, that's why. Like, yeah, it just it gets tiresome because it's like, okay, we need to just stay focused. Because when WWE stays focused on things, they can make something really good. Like, it's the same it's just the same concept with anything. Like, if you have some focus on something, you can make something really good. Instead, they just want to keep building towards all this other shit. Like, literally, when we sit here and think about it, we're building towards War Games, but we're also building towards the SmackDown before War Games. We're also building towards Saturday Night's main event after War Games.
Yeah.
We're also eventually going to be setting up for Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
which means we're setting up for WrestleMania. Like, there's just so much going on right now that they're so just like, they feel like they're focused on everything, but like, it can feel very disjointed, and it's just like, why are we doing this? And why aren't we doing this with a lot of things? Or why are we like taking actual legitimate good storylines and just shoving them to the side for God knows whatever how long for anything? Um I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, especially when we get into these quickfire segments. Like, I feel horrible for these quickfire segments. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, now we have Chelsea Green in the back talking about being two-time champion. Why did she not get a party or pyro? Whatever. That's just whatever. See, just hold on to our truth's balls. There you go. Have fun with that, Chelsea Green, and try not to get creamed again on NXT. Um, Jade Cargill ends up having a squash match with B-Fab. So there's your women's championship going on right there with a tease with Michin. Oh my god, Michin's gonna be a freaking force against Jade Cargill. Yeah, get the Batista thumbs down. Yeah, no, I'm not
Ugh.
too worried about that, especially after what we
Two.
saw tonight with B-Fab. But
God.
then this whole women's War Games match, barely get anything with that. You get this very kind of awkward paint by numbers um opening segment with Rhea and Io basically saying, "Oh, War Games," because Kabuki's did this, and Naya and Lash did that. Out comes Charlotte and Alexa, and thank God for Charlotte for being like, "Hey, Rhea, I don't really fuck with you. I can't really do this. Alexa, you and me are cool. Seems like her and Io are cool, but her
Yeah.
and Rhea ain't working out." And I did see some people kind of point out or like throw out too. It's just like, "Oh, well, Charlotte did join a team with Becky, blah blah blah." But here's the thing: Becky and Charlotte, at least, and even in kayfabe as well, they at least
Yeah.
used to be friends. So
Yeah.
there at least was some sort of camaraderie between the two. Charlotte and Rhea, nah, they those two hate each other. Like almost to the point where it's like if Roman were to team up with freaking Brock Lesnar. Would Roman Reigns really team up with Brock Lesnar for something? Like let's be honest with ourselves. Would those two could they coexist? No, they would eat
No.
each other alive like they were on freaking Blue Lock or something trying to kick a soccer ball into a damn goal. Nah, devouring each other trying to be the king of the field or whatever. But I just feel bad for the women in this part because it's like they have an opportunity. They at least are doing something with like the whole Charlotte thing. So I at least applaud that. But like they were barely given any time tonight at
No
all.
screen time, barely any.
Like, and then you have the heels beat down the faces for the women's War Games match.
Oh boy.
That's about it. At least Last Legend looks good.
Some of those were stiff as hell. So if I could jump
Mhm.
in, one. So look,
Yes.
Chelsea
Mm.
Green. Hopefully you have a better storyline here. I don't know this type of second celebration. I don't know what to look forward to. Good luck, Pyro. Have fun with. Um, the ball segment I don't really care for, but when it comes to Jade versus
Damn.
B-Fab, that was expected. This, I think, what I saw here in cage match, it was a 2-minute, 15-second match, and I shocked at all. I thought it was gonna be shorter, like a minute or something. I thought it was gonna be like a Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston type of match that happened a couple of years ago, I believe it was. That was gonna be
Just
that
add two
short, but no.
minutes.
Yeah.
Just add two
How?
minutes.
Yeah, just that. Yeah. However, when it comes to the heel attack, the only thing I got for this, I agree with Juan because when he said that Last Legend looked good, but yo, some of those things were stiff. But hey, hopefully those girls were
Well,
good when they got thrown to the equipment of the hard case, because those shit look stiff as fucking hell. Other than that, that's all I got for this, because that's all it was for this quick fire. Pew 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 pew.
yeah, yeah. At least with Lash back there, that actually like reminded me of like, oh, there's my professional wrestling. There it is, right there. That looked like it. That's it. That made me excited. About you, Drop. What do you think of all these fun quick fire segments of mainly the women just getting the shaft tonight? Because God damn, that kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, so like I can respect the continuity with Charlotte and Rhea, but when it comes to how they structured this War Games build up for the ladies tonight, I just couldn't really get into it at all. It just seemed very picture by picture. They moved on pretty quickly with it. It felt very awkward afterwards, and then you just had the run in towards the end with the heel team beating them up and everything. It's like, okay, I guess that's cool. I mean, here's our little War Games match with the ladies. So, I mean, I don't really have much to say beyond that. It really, I mean, there's a part of me that actually sort of expected it to be like this because I mean they just feel too comfortable. They don't put any effort in anything. And then when it comes to Jade like squashing B-Fab, I mean definitely starting off really well when it comes to proving how dominant you are as a champion when you're going up against a tough competitor like B-Fab that WWE has been taking seriously when it comes to building her up for the past couple of months. I mean, I guess just throwing rocks at Jade is their way of like showing how special she is when it comes to her as champion now. I mean, what are we doing with Jade? We're having her go up against B-Fab. Like I said, when I make criticism on this show, it's towards the creative, not the people themselves. Don't take me out of context. But it just, I can't get behind this. It's like I'm looking at Jade, I'm looking at B-Fab, I'm looking at how B-Fab's presented on television. I mean, I can't take that seriously. And then you got Michin going up against her, more than likely going to have a match of her the next SmackDown episode that we see. Gonna end up beating her. I mean, who they got lined up for her? Because I was actually very excited for this move with the heel turn, and I'm still gonna give it some time because we're still early in. But based on what they're doing so far, I'm not liking it because it's like there's other things that you could do. You could have. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, you already have the ladies that I would say could probably fit in that picture dealing with WarGames, so you can't really throw any of them in there. And obviously, they want to sell with whatever's going on with Tiffany right now after that match with the whole angle of her leg and everything. So she's going to be out for a little bit. So it's like, you would think they would have some sort of game plan instead of just throwing fodder at her, which is a term that we use when it comes to manga, when it comes to those fodder that the main hero goes up against and just completely wipes out with ease. Kind of like how when Deku took out Muscular that one time, just with ease. But it's like what are we?
You random Marines?
Yeah, it's like what are we doing here? It's like you should have. There always should be a game plan behind every booking decision, but it almost seems like these shows get written the night of, and I hate to say that, but that's just how it feels. And then when it comes to the whole thing with Chelsea Green and everything, like I'm hoping again there's some sort of plan behind this when it comes to exactly what's going on with her. And I really hope after Jade is done with B-Fab and Michin, we don't revisit this once again with B-Fab and Chelsea Green or Michin and Chelsea Green after that. I mean, I saw a little clip online of like Julia getting really upset of what happened. You can't build on that. You can't show her flipping out on Kiana James or something. Maybe build some sort of character there when it comes to her getting upset with her. It's like, what's going on here?
You're bringing up better options than what we're getting from the women division. I even forgot about Kiana James and Gargilia. So you even brought better options because I even forgot about them. So you two even mentioned like, oh yeah, you got a point.
Yeah, but no, they gotta bide their time and strike when the time's ready and all that. It's just like, you could, but you could do more with it. Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe have a rematch with Chelsea Green where Julia loses again and then blames Kiana James and she attacks Kiana James and they kind of have their falling out, their eventual falling out. Like, oh look, there's something you could have told. There's a story you could have told, but I guess apparently they need an extra hour for that, which that extra hour is going to involve kind of the same setup we had tonight, where it's just like, oh, early in the night, somebody did something, and that set up our main event for the third hour. It's like, all right, neat, I guess, fine, cool, whatever. I don't know. I just they could be doing better, man. And with Jade squash with B-Fab, it's like I'm not too upset with that because Jade is at least good with the squash matches and all that. I just I just I didn't mind it. I didn't really care for it either, but it's just like can we just do something more maybe next week? Cuz yeah, I guess Michin's going to get involved here eventually since she was out there, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, but like as much as I'm kind of coming down on SmackDown right then and there, I still thought it was a good show. Was it great? Was it spectacular? No, but it was a solid show. It had some good action in it, especially the men's US Open Challenge. I thought that match was really good. The two matches for the Last Time Is Now tournament, I thought were pretty good. Just a lot of other things. It's just like, why are we booking it this way? Why are we writing it that way? Like, why is Gamora, as always, just like, I don't see what the purpose for a lot of this stuff is. And I'm just kind of just sitting here waiting for what these next steps are. So we'll see on Monday when it comes to, at least with WarGames and the rest of the Time Is Now tournament and all that. But Vash, what did you think of the show overall tonight?
Enjoyable show. I had a good time. I was watching my own. Wifey didn't want to hang out with me, so she said, "Hey, you do your thing. Watch SmackDown." So I was watching SmackDown, giving my entertainment while cooking dinner. Finessing that chef up Vash. And like I said, I was having a good time. The last time is now tour. Like I said, I would have preferred the Miz over Jey Uso. Still had a good time with the first opponents. I would have loved to have seen more of next week Carmelo Hayes versus Bronson Reed. I'm still shocked that we got Zack Ryder for woo 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 over Matt Cardona, but still was dope to hear the sound and the song. I was really shocked to actually see him appear. But hey, if you say his name, somebody else may appear this Monday. So I see you at MSG. Vash won't be there, but he'll be there in spirit.
Good enough for here. But Drop, what'd you think of the show of SmackDown tonight overall?
So when it comes to this episode of SmackDown, I thought it was all right. We had a few things in here. I mean, the highlight for me really was with Ilja Dragunov when it came to that match. I thought things are going really good when it comes to the US Open Challenge. I'm very happy on that part. My only wish is they try a little bit better with these war game matches, or at least read the room and understand, like, maybe we shouldn't do these things all the time if we're not going to properly structure them, or at least do one and then maybe have the other people, do something a little bit different at Survivor Series or whatever. I'm just asking for better creative and consistent storylines here when it comes to how we're structuring everything. That's all I really want at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all we want. We just want better. We want to at least feel like you're actually trying, like you're actually giving a crap about the product that you have. Like that's all we want. That's all we care about. Like if you're going to do some questionable booking, I I've said this plenty of times too. I can at least applaud people that are at least trying. You're at least doing something. You're at least like throwing something at the wall, seeing if it sticks. If it doesn't, hey, that's fine. We'll move on from it. But if it does, hey, that's some compelling TV right there. But yeah, I mean that's basically SmackDown tonight, everybody. I mean, I would say, probably a bit better than what we've gotten in the past few weeks, but there's still a lot of room for improvement when it comes to the show overall. But again, we've reached the end of our show, so chat, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the night of SmackDown, your favorite moment, your favorite match, any of those stuff. Let us know down in either the chat or the comment section. We would love to hear from you guys as always. And, you know, if you do want to hear from us that, outside of these shows, well, I'm sure Vash can tell you guys just exactly where you can find us on those social media platforms.
Yes, chat. If you want, like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, we appreciate for anybody checking our Weebs of the Ring audio feed. Anything that you guys do, like, subscribe to the audio feed where you listen to Pandora, Spotify, Apple iTunes, where you guys check it out. We appreciate all the support on the audio feed, because if you guys download support, we can add revenue. We can give the support on the podcast that we make on a weekly basis as well. You guys see the 100 subscribers. If you believe the content that we do, continue subscribing, continue sending this to your abuelas, to your cousins, to your primitos, to your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law, to anybody you know, your best friends, your neighbors. help us out here. We appreciate that any content that we do, if you're entertained by us and what we're talking about, pro wrestling related. Also to the brothers and sisters brand of AniMa W3 Studio, we also have Off the Binge. We have Weebs Lounge that comes out every Tuesday. Check out this coming up one is Stranger Things coverage. So if you have any questions, we might go live. We might go check out the VOD. Things may be happening. Some ideas are spurring in the brain. So stay tuned if you guys want more notifications for the more content that we're bringing out. Other than that, our social handles are down below for where to find us. Weebs of the Ring, Walkers MW, Legendary Vash, Drop This Box, and where other content where to find us is down below in the description. We appreciate all the support.
Yes, supporting is great because without support, the house just falls down, and we don't want our house to fall down. We want it to stay up, especially if it's made out of gingerbread. Yeah, our gingerbread house needs to stay up and all that. But hey, we've reached the end of the show. Bit of a tired, slow event tonight, but hey, it's fine. It's all good. It's just been a crazy week for all of us. The holidays are coming up. We've got some new schedules coming up with, not only that, but with our own lives and other content coming out. So, stay tuned for all that stuff, especially as we wind down 2025 and enter 2026. Hopefully, a better year when it comes to professional wrestling, when it comes to like writing and stories and all that. But again, we've reached the end of the show, so I'm just gonna take the time to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, why not do exactly what Vash just said? We are known as Weebs of the Ring on all social media platforms. Be sure to follow us on all of those, and also be sure to use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring, as it's a great way to interact with us before, during, or after these shows. It's a great way to give us feedback as well, because hey, we're nothing without you guys tuning into the show. Weaves of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks, of course, to our production team for all their hard work to make this show a reality and to put it on each and every single time we have content to talk about. Weaves of the Ring presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Again, thanks to the production team, all that fun stuff, all that great stuff. And remember, thank you for joining us. And as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good weekend as well. We'll see you on Monday for the Monday Night Raw action.
See you.